Hello everyone, welcome to Washington Gun Law TV. I am Washington Gun Law President William Kirk. Thanks for joining us. Well, today is June 28th, 2022. And what's significant about June 28th? Well, I'll tell you what's significant about June 28th. It is the day that the fireworks stands open every year in the state of Washington. That's right. You could go out effective today and buy fireworks. Well, I should say in some parts of the state. Because if you live in King County, as you know, fireworks are banned throughout the county and have for many years been banned by most of the municipalities. Now, some of you east of the mountains, well, you still get to celebrate our independence like real Americans and get to use pyrotechnics to celebrate the joy of liberty. So today, we're going to spend a few minutes talking about helping you understand Washington State's firework laws. Okay, so the issue we're going to be talking about is what are the firework laws in the state of Washington in places where we are still actually allowed to celebrate our independence and our patriotism. Where I live, we no longer get to celebrate that by blowing stuff up. And so many of these laws do not apply to people in King County, big parts of Pierce County, big parts of Snohomish County. Do you begin to see what the color of the counties are that really have no fun? Okay, but I digress. So today we're going to be spending our time in RCW 70.77. This is not RCW 9.41, the section that we most frequently geek out about, which has to do with firearms section. There's only one mention in RCW 941 of fireworks, and it basically is that 941 does not govern at all the regulations that relates to fireworks. No, instead that is governed in RCW 70.77. Now, there is a long litany of laws there, many of which deal with licensing and permitting for professional shows. What I'm going to do is I pulled out a few of the statutes. I'm going to pull a few of the nuggets out of it so that you, normally the lawful and responsible gun owner, can understand what it takes to be the lawful and responsible fireworks user. And then you can decide how and if you will be complying with this law, with a caveat that I'm going to tell you what happens if you do violate the law. Okay, I'm going to go through this material hot and heavy, otherwise this turns into a 20-minute video. What are fireworks? Fireworks are defined by RCW 7.77.126 as follows. Fireworks means any composition or device designed to produce a visible or audible effect by combustion, deflagration, or detonation, and which meets the definitions of articles, pyrotechnic, or consumer fireworks or display fireworks. Now, there are two categories of fireworks under Washington law. There is display fireworks under 70.77.131. I'm not going to bore you with the big long definition, but we know what display fireworks are. These are the large aerial fireworks that are typically used in public displays at parks and other municipal events, county events, and so forth. So those are your display fireworks. Now, consumer fireworks, the ones that those of you who still live in a county where you get to live free can actually go to, the grocery store parking lot and pick those up. Those are defined under RCW 70.77.136. And there are very specific weights as to the amount of powder and the types of powder that are being used. Again, I'm not going to bore you with that. We kind of know what the difference is between consumer fireworks and display fireworks, and then we can also talk about unlawful fireworks. And we all know where the unlawful fireworks are coming from, and they are coming from Native American reservations in the state of Washington, of which there are plenty. And yes, the shopping on the reservations during the 4th of July is fantastic. However, let us not forget that once you take once you take most of the types of fireworks that you are going to the reservation for off the reservation, off tribal property, off tribal lands, you are violating state law at that point. And you recognize that, and you are subject to criminal liability. But we're going to be talking about the stuff that we can actually go legally purchase in Washington, which I get might be sparklers and snakes and cones, and none of them are really worth purchasing at all. But that's what we're going to talk about today, the legal stuff. Now, one of the things, if you possess unlawful fireworks or you are caught misusing fireworks, using fireworks in an illegal fashion, RCW 70.77.435 authorizes the seizure of the fireworks. The statute specifically states, any fireworks which are illegally sold, offered for sale, used, discharged, possessed, or transported in violation of the provisions of this chapter or the rules or regulations are subject to seizure by the Chief of the Washington State Patrol through the Director of Fire Protection, his or her deputy, or by state agencies or local governments having general law enforcement authority. What does that mean in simple terms? That any law enforcement authority has the right to seize your fireworks if you are using them unlawfully or even possessing them unlawfully. Now, June 28th is significant for another reason, because not only are the fireworks stands open effective that date, but that is the first date under Washington law in which you can lawfully use fireworks. There is a very set prescribed time, a window of time in which the use of fireworks is lawful. Before that and after that, technically it is in violation of this law, RCW 70.77.395. Now, that statute specifically states, consumer fireworks may be used or discharged each day between the hours of 12 o'clock noon and 11 o'clock p.m. on the 28th day of June, between the hours of 9 o'clock a.m. and 11 o'clock p.m. on the 29th of June to the 3rd of July, and on July 4th between the hours of 9 o'clock a.m. and 12 o'clock midnight, and between the hours of 9 o'clock a.m. and 11 o'clock p.m. on July 5th, and from 6 o'clock p.m. on December 31st until 1 o'clock a.m. on January 1st and of the subsequent year, as provided in RCW 70.77.311. So essentially, your usable hours are somewhere between 9 a.m. and 11 p.m., midnight on certain days, 28th day of June all the way to July 5th, and then again a very short window during the new year. Using fireworks outside those hours are technically unlawful under this statute. Now, when it comes to unlawful fireworks, that is fireworks that merely by possessing them, there is a law violation. RCW 70.77.485 talks about some of the penalties that we face. They include the following. It is unlawful to possess any class or kind of fireworks in violation of this chapter. A violation of this section is 1. A misdemeanor if involving less than 1 pound of fireworks exclusive of the external packaging, or 2. A gross misdemeanor if involving 1 pound or more of fireworks exclusive of the external packaging. So again, unlawful possession of a less than a pound of illegal fireworks is a misdemeanor. Unlawful possession of more than a pound of illegal fireworks is a gross misdemeanor. And then finally, and the one I want you to be most aware of, RCW 70.77.488 talks about what happens if we are an idiot. That statute specifically states, it is unlawful for any person to discharge or use fireworks in a reckless manner, which creates a substantial risk of death or serious physical injury to another person or damage to the property of another. A violation of this section is a gross misdemeanor. So yes, if you are using fireworks in a manner which is not lawful nor responsible and dangerous to others, you face up to 364 days in jail and a $5,000 fine. Listen, you may have more questions about how do Washington State's firearms laws work or not work, or anything else related to your Second Amendment rights. And if you do, you can always contact us at WashingtonGunLaw.com, or of course you can call us directly at 425-765-0487. Now, let's remember, part of being the lawful and responsible gun owner, like we talk about all the time here at Washington Gun Law, is to know what the law is in every situation and how it applies to you in any instance that you may find yourself. Until next time, thanks for watching, and stay safe.